What we can also do is now take a look at the projects, the initiatives you have in the organization to help it perform better. And here, what we're going to go do is not only understand what our investment is in each of these, but understand which of the strategic objectives those projects might have an impact on. In this case, the web-enabled attendance review looks like it has a high impact on improving business practices, promoting partnerships, and retaining the right people, but less on community participation and influencing policy. So what this allows us to do is to begin to evaluate projects not based on their political value, but on its performance value against achieving the strategic objectives. And this is obviously important in the public sector, where it's often hard to make clear decisions about where we should be spending our time and resources based on those conflicting political and performance objectives. So if we scored those on a graph and we just represent them with red dots, in this example, it looks like we have a lot of projects which are going to be supporting the objective of balancing responsibilities. And for example, not many projects are supporting create an excellence culture. So to help understand where these dots lie, what we actually have to do is go back to what we had to begin with, which is what are those gaps that we're trying to close. So we've just charted here the specific gaps which existed in this organization based on the current process performance as seen in light of the current strategy. And if we combine those two charts, we see something that's interesting. That red dot around financial responsibilities shows a reasonable position in proportion to the gap. But if I take a look at, for example, provide responsible services, we can see that we're significantly underinvesting in this objective, has a significant gap and not much projects being invested. In fact, even if I compare these two, the gaps are basically the same, yet a huge amount of investment under F1 and not much under I1, improved business practices. So this allows the leadership team to have a fairly risk-free conversation about the impact of the current processes on achieving the strategy and whether we have the right portfolio of projects lined up to help close those gaps. This should be part of your portfolio management or project authorization process, where I can begin to evaluate the strategic impact of those projects against the strategic objectives of the organization. This becomes very important, especially in times like now, where economics and currency and a bunch of other things are influencing the performance expectations we have of our organizations. And those answers effectively change quarter to quarter based on changing economics and financial markets and so forth. And therefore, the projects which give us traction will probably also change. So we need the ability to be agile and respond to changes in the economic environment and stakeholder expectations over time.